So I wanted to know like how much freedom would we have in the university, like to try out different stuff.
Well, that's a big question. Okay, I'm gonna push it back to you and say, what do you tell me a little bit about what you mean by freedom?
So like I've had this interest in music, and I'd like to like learn music and all. So and also I want to like get a part-time job. So
Okay.
for that,
So Ashwath, I think this is it's a very person to person question. Now the music bit, absolutely. I'm excited about the possibility of exploring music because I love music. I'm just reconnecting with my band and all of that stuff. There are clubs that the first batch of students have started that are really kind of looking to open up and grow. And so on the I don't even like calling them extracurricular, so I'm not going to call them extracurricular because that separates curricular and extra, which is kind of ridiculous. But for all of the stuff that you want to do that is extra academic, right? There is a lot of opportunity and a lot of enthusiasm. There are some great musicians in the existing cohort. Um, Professor Akila, who's just joined us recently, is an amazing singer and also has a rock and roll band. Um, and she's also trained in jazz and Carnatic. And I have my band and I also sing. So on that front, there is absolutely, we all believe that play is a really important part of learning. And so in terms of that kind of freedom, there is absolutely a lot of space. Now for the part-time job, I'm going to say that that is a very personal thing, right? Now, and this is for everybody. I understand that all of us have different needs and we come from different backgrounds, and finances can be more or less stressful depending on where you come from. Okay, now, if a part time job is an absolute necessity, that's something I think that you should discuss and table with me, with your faculty, your tutors, because ultimately it's a big leap, okay, folks? So when you move from grade 12 into university, especially when you move to a university that's quite new in its approach, right? There's going to be a lot of changes to adapt to. And you may find that a part-time job is actually just too much, right? And that means you're going to be putting pressure on yourself. And it's like dominoes, like one thing will crumble and then everything. So that's what we don't want. So my suggestion for that would be that you take your time, right? Give yourself at least 1 or 2 semesters to figure out what it's like for you. Okay. So if a part-time job is a necessity because of financial constraints, then you need to talk to the finance department, the admissions department, and figure out what support is available, because there is some support available. Okay. But if you kind of feel like, hey, I want the part-time job for a little bit of extra money, nothing wrong with that. Wait in order to do that. Because the last thing you want to do is bite off more than you can chew and feel like, oh my God, I'm letting my friends down, I'm letting my teachers down, I'm letting my employer down. Like, no, that's not a good place to be. So be patient. That's what I would say. You may find that you are awesome at juggling things, okay, and that you can do both, in which case, great. But if you can't, that's fine too. Make sense? Yeah, cool.
yeah, ma'am.
Okay,
Thanks, ma'am.
not at all. Pleasure. Good. Thank you for your question.